My papa always said,
Hi, Maximo.
you get what you work for. And I knew how to work it better than anyone.
Oh, I think I'm making you wet.
Bill! Shadow!
Be home early.
I missed you.
You deserve a nice, refreshing beverage after the workout we just... Hey!
You cheated on me with a car salesman?
No, a little.
Peggy dumped me. I have no money, no home, no helicopter.
You could always try staying at your sister's.
Hey, Sara.
¿Qué haces aquí?
Quería verte a ti y a mi sobrina.
Sobrino.
¿Sobrino? ¿Sobrina? ¿Qué dije? Sobrino. Sobrino. Eso, sobrino. It's Hector!
His name is Hugo. I am trusting you with my car, and I am trusting you with my son.
Wait.
Friend of yours?
She doesn't even know I exist.
Who is she?
Oh, that's Arden's grandmother.
She's perfect. I can teach you how to use your skills of seduction to get what you want.
When do we start?
Lesson number 1. Eye contact is power. Women will lust after you. Eye contact, eye contact.
This guy, right? I know.
You need to go out there and find yourself a job.
Condos, condos!
Guys like you and me,
Parezco mi abuelito.
we do whatever it takes to come out on top.
I learned how to undress a woman with my eyes.
I never use those words exactly.
Sure you did. I wrote it all down in this notebook.
What notebook? ¿Cómo que por tortillazos?
Give it up one more time for this guy. Let's hear it. Eugenio, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Congratulations on your first American movie.
Yes, it's my first time starring in English, so I'm very excited and nervous, honestly.
You're nervous?
Yeah, because probably this could be my vehicle for finally to do the crossover. So I'm excited and nervous because my first time being funny in English.
Now, you are the highest grossing leading man director, right? From your last film, Batteries Not Included, right?
Yes, instruction not included.
Instructions. Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. See you guys. We're gonna find somebody else to take this. Does anyone out here want to jump on?
No, but that movie became the highest grossing Spanish language film ever worldwide.
That's unbelievable.
I know. It was amazing. And it's because of all these guys that saw the movie. We did a huge box office. We would more than $100 million all around the world. Yeah.
Now that film, you wrote, you produced, you starred in, you directed, right?
And I edited too.
And you,
Really, that's true.
you built the sets, and and you edited, and you had a number of shows in Mexico that you created as well, right?
Yes.
So what was it like for you on this? I know you produced it, you started it. What was it like for you on this one to relinquish a little bit of control?
It was hard, but necessary because it's a different sense of humor here than in Latin America. So I know how to make people laugh in Spanish, but in English it's a different animal, completely different. So actually there were a lot of discussions. For example, let me put you an example. When we were shooting the film, there were a couple of scenes that where Salma and I were saying some stuff in Spanish because supposedly we're from Mexico. So there were some words that we said in Spanish. We started improvising. And Ken Marino, the director, was like, wait. What did you say? And we were like, we said this and that. And he was like, but that's not funny. Say this, and this. And I was like, wait, but that's not funny in Spanish. So it's really hard. So I said, listen, trust me, let's keep the Spanish I said, that's like we said, and we can subtitle in English your joke. So we did that. So in many scenes, it doesn't read the same. If you understand both languages,
Translation is slightly different.
It's slightly different because we put the joke that works for the Anglos on the subtitles. And I mean, it's not subtitled, don't be afraid, it's just a few phrases. And the Spanish, we kept the Spanish that we said as we liked because I know my people.
Yeah, now with this film, you know, they always say comedy gets lost in translation the most, right, when it comes to movies. So when you decided to come to the United States and produce a film, were you really nervous that it wouldn't translate?
A little bit, but at the same time...
It does. It's very, very funny. It's an incredibly funny movie. It's funny,
right?
It translates, yes.
So don't be afraid of going and watching a Latin Lover. It's just... but I think it's refreshing because it's a mix of it's like the classic American comedy, but with a different flavor and a different sense of humor. That's my personal sense of humor. So I think we found the right balance to make a really funny movie.
Now, as producer, did you find a script that was already written and then sort of start working on it or developing it? Or was this sort of an idea that you brought to writers because you knew it would be a great vehicle for you?
Well, both. I mean, we were looking for material to produce a movie. And then I was trying to explore the Latin Lover world because every time, you know why? Every time I was wearing a suit or a shirt like this, all the Anglos were like, oh, you look like a Latin lover. It was such a cliche that I decided that we should explore it. So these two writers came with the idea of an aging Latin lover. That is what I'm playing in this movie. And we loved it. And we started developing the script. And we thought it was going to be probably the third script, but it came out so quick that we decided to shoot it first.
And now, how did you come across Ken Marino, the director of this, who some people would know from the show Party Down and you know, a number of other, he's been a sort of fixture in American comedy for the past 30 years, I would say.
Well, we were looking for a director because I didn't want to direct this one because of what I said before, that it's very tricky and it's very complicated. I mean, drama is very universal. We all, worldwide, we all cry for the same reasons. Death, love, losses, whatever. But comedy is different. It depends on where you were born, your age, your economic status. So it's different, completely different. So I didn't want to make any mistakes. And we hired these two writers and Ken Marino. And Ken Marino, the perks of Ken Marino is that he's a writer, director, and he's an actor. He's a comedian. So I felt really confident that he would understand me and my sense of humor. So he was perfect. And he was always bringing different stuff to the script. And his wife is a writer too. So there was a lot of jokes in every single take.
So every take, you guys are throwing out jokes. Everybody had jokes said. Because you also have some of the great comedians that we have, like in the film. You have Rob Riggle, Rob Lowe is a funny guy, Rob Corddry, Rob Hugo. Got a lot of Robs in this
all
film.
the Robs in the industry, all of them.
A lot of funny people who I would imagine can bring their own jokes to the table as well.
And that was Ken Marino because they're friends. So he brought all his friends. And I brought mine, that is Salma Hayek.
It was wonderful, yeah.
She's amazing. And so, and after that, everything was easier. Then Kristen Bell said, okay, I'll get in. And then Michael Cera.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, my God, I'm such a huge fan of Michael Cera.
That's so interesting. I mean, obviously you speak English, but Michael Cera is the exact idea of American comedy that I would see that gets lost in translation because it's so much about being a specific thing that's slightly askew, you know?
Exactly.
And it's an American thing that's slightly askew. There.
I know, but I like him. I really like him. And I think he just opens his mouth. Sometimes he just stays there, staring at the camera. I can tell when we were screening the movie, he just come out and people are just because he just walked in on set.
Poor guy.
Poor guy, I know.
Doing anything. People are laughing hysterically at him.
I'm going to tell you an anecdote. He's going to kill me if he sees these. But he's so funny. And that day he was wearing, his hairdo was really weird. So I was like, oh, that's a great wig. I thought it was a wig. And I was going to tell him, oh, you haven't, who chose that wig? It's really, really funny. And I was this close of opening my mouth. And 1 second, my angel said, no, and I was like, And then I asked somebody else, is that a wig? No, it's his real hair.
Is it the hair that we see in the movie, like that same hairstyle?
Yes,
it's just sort of really big and poofy, right?
Yeah, that's him.
So you were gonna go up and be like, "Nice wig, Mike," and walk away?
Exactly. Yeah, no, but I didn't do that. Thank God. Thank
So
God.
after years of producing comedy, what have you learned that made you comfortable coming to the United States and producing this film? What is the golden rule for comedy for you?
And the more experience I have, the less I know in comedy.
Wow.
It's so hard to make people laugh. It happens constantly to me that when you think you have a great joke, nobody laughs or laughs like, eh. And then you say something like, eh. You throw away a joke, and people are like, ha, ha, ha. So it's really hard to tell what is funny or not, because I told you before that it depends on many things. But usually, it's very hard to travel with comedy. Physical comedy is easier. So, and I discovered that, and also in this movie, all the physical comedy, all the jokes that are just physical, play amazingly well. So, basically, I would like to do something like more like Mr. Bean, my next movie, so we can.
Mr. Bean travels incredibly well. No talking, just hitting his head on light poles.
Yeah, that's a great formula.
So what was it like when you were sort of producing and developing this film? What was the thing that you wanted to bring to the story that was yours?
Well, it was hard because, you know, in Latin America in general, the Hispanics, we are really emotional and big, and we're really like loud. So if you watch any TV show, a comedy show in Spanish, we are big, broad. Everything is like, and
Is that something that you recognize before you watch, like, I guess American shows where maybe it's smaller than that, or is that something that you're sort of very aware of while you're filming the shows as well, to go bigger, to be bigger when you're actually writing and filming them?
Well, that's an interesting question. Let me tell you why. Because probably I was born watching TV in my country, so everything was kind of big. Yeah. So for me, it was natural. And right now, I watch my shows and I like, oh my God, it's too much. It's too broad. I have a show called Familia Peluche that is huge. It's huge in Latin America, and everyone, thank God, everyone loved the show. And every time a director or producer say, I heard of Familia Peluche, show me something. I'm like, I don't want to, because they immediately they don't want to hire me, because it's like too broad for the U.S. Actually, Ken Marino, he was really afraid that I was going to be like too broad and big and huge reactions, and because he saw Familia Peluche. So it's really interesting. It's completely different cultures. And but I like both. I think.
I was gonna say it's vice versa. You know, like if I grew up with American television, so I guess it's smaller, if you could say that, or more subtle. Whereas I respond to Latin American comedy maybe a different way. You know?
Yeah, it's just a matter of jumping into the humor and then the sense of humor, and then the minute you understand what is it about, you can enjoy the shows. So, yeah, right now I feel that I'm changing a lot my style, because you were asking me. I used to play with words a lot. Now I can't do that because it's not my first language, so it's really hard to play with words. And it was my main weapon to make people laugh. And then we are broad in Mexico and Latin America, and here you're contained. So I have to reinvent myself here in the U.S. to make people laugh. So it's a completely different me.
Did you ever have instances on set? Because a lot in this film is you've got some incredible improvisers, and I was telling you backstage that there were some things that I could tell that specific improviser had to be improvising because it was so uniquely them. Did you ever have moments on set where like everybody was laughing at something that they were saying, and you're like, I don't understand what is so funny about this?
All the time. Honestly,
Really?
yes.
Well, I mean, to sympathize with you, but I can't imagine anything more terrifying than being the producer of this and being like, it's funny? What do we, like not feeling like you have the reins,
Absolutely. Now you're understanding my situation.
That is terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying because you don't know if it's funny or not. I'm trusting Ken Marino. That's why I hire Ken and the writers, because if not, I would have been, if I would have decided to direct the movie, I would have been lost. Like, I don't know if this is funny. I don't know if I should go with this or do something else. It's really, really hard. So I decided to first learn. And it happens to me when I'm going to a meeting, sometimes they're like, oh, they're talking too fast. Even my English, I just learned English like a few years ago. I mean, not that much. So it's
incredible. Your English is great.
Well, thank you, but I had not that much, but I'm working on it. But I had a partner that was born here in the U.S., and we go to the meetings together because I don't like to go by myself because I don't understand anything. When we are in the meetings. Well, not anything, like 20%. I'm being honest. So it's really hard, and they use terms and different things. So it's tricky because I'm there. I don't want to talk. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to make many mistakes. And then when we come out of the meetings, my partner says, everyone thinks you are like mysterious. That you're a mystic because you're a comedian and you're always like just analyzing, hearing, and at the end, well, is he mad? And I go, no, he's thinking about the. Okay.
They think you're a genius.
Yes. You're
incredibly talented. You could be a genius.
This here, but they think that I'm like just I'm not understanding anything.
You're just sitting. They're all talking, and you're just going like this.
I'm like,
You've mastered the American brow furrow,
Yeah, yeah, and then I understand some words, so they're like, it's really funny, and funny. On a Tuesday, Tuesday could be. So that's all I say, no more than that. So they're really intrigued. Well, after this, not anymore, I think.
I'll say, I mean, not luckily, but congratulations. The movie is incredibly funny. It worked. You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
You hired the right people. You did your job very well, and the movie is incredibly enjoyable and funny.
Thank you very much. It's really, really funny. So don't miss it. April 28th. It's for entire family. So you can bring the kids. You can bring your abuelitas too. Especially your abuelitas because they're going to learn how to get a Latin lover. And they deserve to live their last days happily.
Let's get some questions here from the audience, right here.
Hi. So my family and I, we've been huge fans of your comedy for years. And we wanted to know if you would ever consider going back to sketch comedies and using your old characters like El Longemoco, Armando Hoyos, and if we could ever possibly even see him on the big screen.
Well, yes, I definitely, I know that my core audience, they're waiting for another season of my TV shows and my characters. There's one already written. I just need to find some time to go back and make some TV shows. Right now I'm producing films. I have a contract with the Lionsgate. But as soon as I can, I'll go back and do another season of my TV show. And I'm thinking about doing an English version of Armando Hoyos, El Longemoco, Familia Peluche. I think they might work kind well here. I just need to find a writer to make the translation, not just the literal translation, but the essence of each character to English. So I'm excited.
I love that idea because America exports its comedies all the time and they get made everywhere else, but we rarely import comedies from other cultures. And I love that idea of doing that. I think it'd be wonderful.
Yes, and definitely my characters are really funny, but I'm curious if they could work here in English. I think they will work, right?
Would you be playing your characters here, or would you sort of make it an American cast?
Good question. I'll probably give it a try. First, try it here in New York. It would be a great space to come to a comedy club and try a couple of them. And if they work, I can be act them. And if not, I can hire a great comedian. A really funny one.
I feel like I asked this question already, but I'm just fascinated by this because you've made so much work on your own as writer, director, producer, star, editor. At this point, now that you've come to the United States and you have this contract, you made this movie and you're producing other stuff, you're really giving up a fair amount of control. What has that felt like to sort of be like, I don't necessarily control the work entirely anymore?
Well, it's hard because in Mexico, I'm well known for being a control freak.
That's what I mean. I mean, you're obviously a control freak.
Yes.
Because you're writer, director, producer. I mean, anybody else would be like, please, somebody else do a job for me.
Let me tell you that I started doing that because I didn't like what everyone else was doing. I was like, no, we need to do this. At the end, I was doing everything because I like the way I do things by myself. Yeah. I'm like very control freak. I recognize that. And when I came here, it was like, okay, if I want to achieve this goal of being in Hollywood, I need to finally lose control because I don't know the culture. I know how it makes people laugh in English. So it's been hard.
What have you done to make yourself comfortable with losing control?
Just take some pills and
dive in and swim, basically?
Yeah, close my eyes, take a Valium or whatever. No, it's really hard. And for example, I wanted for this movie, I had an amazing ending. That it was really emotional because my last movie, Instruction Not Included, was that the ending was really, really emotional. So I wanted to do something like this. And it was a huge discussion, really huge. That was broad and big. About the ending. And they were like, no, it's again going the same formula like a telenovela. And right now, I regret that I didn't fight for that ending more. And we kept the classic ending that's more like a happy ending, more than a dramatic ending. And I know that my audience, at least, would have loved more the dramatic ending than the other one. And it's not about being big or anything. It just touches your heart more. So that's kind of an example when I have to trust my people, trust Ken Marino, trust the writers, trust the producers, and let it go.
I think there's a lot of writers and directors in Hollywood that would just say, "Welcome to Hollywood." Like this is what we do.
I know, but I'm really happy with about being here in the U.S. It's like being reborn, you know. And because I closed everything in Mexico, I had my career already. I was really good, in a good place, successful. I had my TV shows, everything. And I closed my office, my house, friends, everything. I say goodbye. I'm going to start all over again from zero in another country.
What was the enticing aspect of that? The new audience, the new place to live? I'm sure there's financial enticement as well. Or was it the challenge of creating work in a different place?
Everything. It's been challenging. I mean, I remember that I woke up, I moved to LA 2.5 years ago. And the first 6 months I was waking up in the middle of the night in a different house. I had a different office, a different language, a different, even a different family because I had a newborn baby that I didn't thought I was going to have. So everything was new, and I felt that I was living a life of somebody else. I really, really felt weird, and but at the same time, it was refreshing. So I need to start taking English classes, accent reduction classes, writing, everything. Everything is new. It's like I was again like 15 years old. So it's kind of refreshing. And
it's inspiring, to be honest.
But inspiring at the same time.
It's inspiring to do something like that.
Yeah, because at my age, you usually are like thinking of retirement or whatever. So, and I feel really refreshed. I'm going to the gym every day. I want to learn a lot of stuff.
You strike me as the type of guy that will never think of retirement. You'll be on your last legs trying to do a bit in front of a camera.
Yes, but let me tell you something. When I was 40 years old, I was planning my retirement. I said, I'm going to work 5 more years, and then 45, I want to retire. I want to live. I wouldn't want to be going around the world when in my wheelchair. I really want to retire, kind of in a good age. And then, it's a long story, but my mom died, but she passed away. And I think she's doing something upstairs because she started sending me signals. I lost the dream of coming to Hollywood. I had a dream of coming to Hollywood when I was 8, 10. I was a kid. Then I fought for my dream for like 10 years, 12. And then when I was 20-something, I started doing something else. I lost my dreams. And when I was 40, my mom died. I realized that I had a dream when I was young. And I decided to retake my dream. And it was like, or retire or going for my dreams. And I started fighting for my dreams. I opened the yellow pages. I looked for a school to learn English. And I came here to the US to start learning English. And 15 years later, here I am.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's get another question from the audience. Who, right here?
Hi, how are we doing? Pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you.
And my question is, what's the best piece of advice you would give a young individual looking up to you and inspired by you and wants to take your footsteps to where you are today?
Okay, great question. Great question. I was during the first part of my career in Mexico, and the first part of my career here happened the same. So I was always knocking at the doors, asking the producers to hire me. Hey, here's my photograph. Here's my curriculum. Here's my, call me, please. I'm really funny. I'm good. Doesn't work. There's a lot of people, a lot of competition out there. So what really changed my life was when I decided to take my life in my hands. So I hired, that's what I did with this. No one was calling me, and I had a success. The Instructional Club was a huge success, but no one was calling me to give me to star in a movie. So I hired some writers. I opened my own company. I work in something else to make money, and then I hired these people. And finally, I went to the studio and I said, I have this script. I have my own company. I'm going to produce it, blah, 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 blah. So when I hire myself and instead of asking for a job, I give job to people, my life changed. Thank you very much. That's the way.
We have to wrap it up. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Congratulations on congratulations on the crossover.
Thank you.
And on the great film. How to Be a Latin Lover opens in theaters April 28th, correct?
April 28th. Yes, don't wait 2 weeks because the people, there are a lot of movies coming behind us, and so April 28th for the entire family, How to Be a Latin Lover.
And it's so funny. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.